back to the channel. Today I'm going to do a little bit of backyard bike mechanicking, and in this video we're going to swap a cassette on a modern cassette style wheel. This is my new Star Michael Bowman handmade custom bike. It's a kind of traditional single oversized tube set, so the top tube's 1.1" instead of inch, down tube's one size too big. It's got modern 1.1" threadless steer tube, disc brakes, that kind of stuff. It's still built out of steel and traditional methods and traditional seat stay caps and lugs and all that stuff. So the rear end is a 135 spaced. It's got a Velo orange disc brake back hub on it, because it makes them in silver and they're pretty, and TBO is pretty cool to deal with. I set this bike up 8-speed. I used 7-speed Dior cranks, rear derailleur, and thummy. I bought a mint condition bike for fairly cheap off of Facebook Marketplace that had these parts on it. Now the cool thing about the 7-speed shifter, I mention to people all the time, is that it's got the 6 clicks. You're in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then it's got a dead spot at the end, so you can get an 8-speed cassette to shift with a 7-speed shifter, no problem. Which is really cool. It's like you have the clicks for the first 7 gears, and then you just pull it a little bit farther into 8, and the limit screws on the derailleur stop you from going too far. Ah! This is a stand I just got for free off of Facebook Marketplace today. It's a really early park stand. And I soaked it in penetrating oil and stripped it apart and got things moving again. I figured I'd bring it home so we could play with this project. Put an 8-speed cassette on this bike, because that's not too big. It's like a 1134 or something. I got the 36 front. It's not enough for me. I live on the top of a big hill now. My knees are old and arthritic now. And the jumps are too big. The jumps are like 4 or 5 teeth between every jump. It's just horrific. It's just like, no matter what, it's like riding an old 5-speed freewheel on a touring bike. It's like no matter what gear you're in, you just wish you were like 1 or 2 gears easier or 1 or 2 gears harder. Like you're always right in between where you want to be. So it reminded me of the old Shimano was doing these amazing freewheels on their cheap hybrids and commuter bikes and stuff called Mega Range. So like an Altus rear derailleur with giant pulleys, and it had 6 or 7 pretty normal little cogs and normal step like a road gear, so you have nice little tight jumps, so you can always find the gear you want without ever being way too easy or way too hard and never having anything in the middle. And the very last gear is like a bailout. It just got huge, like a 34. So like road gear, road gear, road gear, road gear, boom, giant hill gear. Super smart. They never really caught on. So I started looking on eBay, trying to find something I would want for this bike that would kind of do that. I want smaller jumps in between gears and a way bigger upper ring, but maybe a huge jump to that. I found this this cassette. Oh God, I can't remember anything. I haven't slept in 2 months really. I was never gonna sleep. The dogs are always on me. That was always bugging me. But this thing's kind of cool. It's an 8-speed micro shift. It's got a name or something. I'll show the picture from ordering it. And it starts at 13 instead of 11. So right off the bat, I don't need a dumb little tiny 11 tube cough that I never use. Like skinny people trying to go faster downhill can get into that hardest little gear. I'm heavy, so I can just, gravity pulls me faster than them. I ride my brakes when people are pedaling their little hearts out downhill. So I don't need it, so I got rid of a gear or 2 right off the bat. Oh wait, that's a lie. It does have a tiny little cog. It's probably an 11. Ugh, I wish it was a 13. Old freewheels started like 15. They were great. So it's like 11, 13, 15. So it's only like 2 steps. Then 18, 16, 17, 18. So that's 3, but it's not 4. And then 21, 18, 19, 20, 21. So that's 3. And 24, so that's 3. And then 30, so that's like 6. And then 38, so that's like 8. So it's a much tighter little spread. It's not as tight as I want, but still a much tighter little spread in all the hard gears where you really want to shift a lot, riding around town to small hills. And then boom, a kind of bailout, and boom, a super bailout. Now I have this Dior XT long cage rear derailleur. I put slightly larger pulleys on it. I got like alloy pulleys. I think the stock ones are, what are the stock ones on these? Like 9 teeth. I think these ones are 12 or 14. Kind of the biggest ones I thought I could get away with. They were still this dark gold. I found some light gold ones that are even bigger. I wish, but they didn't match. And I got this really big, it's called like a road link. Wolftooth sort of made these, and a bunch of other companies are making them. This position your derailleur down in a different position so you can get a bigger cassette on there. So you can get a way bigger cassette. They don't increase the max number the derailleur can wrap and chain. So if I was still using, like on a road bike, it could only do, like a short cage derailleur road bike, it could only do 1126, and the road, 4252 in the front. That would be max. You couldn't put the bigger cassette on, but do what I did here and got rid of that 4252 and just put a single 36 on. All of a sudden, boom, I have a bunch of room to play with. I did the math. I think it should be totally fine. My all cassette's silver, but I have a lot of black stuff on this bike on purpose. I was kind of trying to go all silver with the Dior. It's black down here with the gold XT, so I did all the gold stuff. These zoom brakes are the dark gold. They have all black bolts. On my headset, I used a couple of black spacers in between the dark gold spacers and the black top cap. The brake levers are black, the shifter is a little black. So I did it on purpose so I can integrate. I even did it on the Velo Orange fenders. I used a black hardware kit on their silver fenders just to try and keep everything a little cohesive so I can mix and match stuff a little bit without looking too weird. Because I went all silver on the entire build and put one black part on it. That's kind of weird and ugly. And vice versa. You do an all black bike and then like the cheap out, put a cheap silver cassette or something, people like that. No, that doesn't look right. It's weird. But so I'm hoping this guy is going to fit. We will most likely have to adjust the tension or the barrel adjuster. I might need a slightly longer chain, which I did not bring any chain parts. Sometimes these weird non-Shimano cassettes don't actually fit right. They need like a little 1mm spacer or something. I didn't bring any of that. So we'll see if we can get it done in the backyard today. Otherwise I'm going to have to go to the shop and get some more parts to finish it. Hope we'll get it today. Wish I would have thought of all this stuff. I brought some random tools. I brought an extra cassette removal tool, which I didn't even test and fit. This could blow this whole video up right now because I didn't double check that this was the right spline for normal Shimano spline cassettes. It could be a campy one, it could be anything. Okay, it's the right thing. Thank God. Got that. I got a really cool alien multi-tool that has just like everything on it in the world, including a saw, a can opener, a chain tool, and an 8mm. It just has like everything. I just had it sitting around. Why not have that? I was digging through my parts, and I had an extra one of these Park Tools SR1 USA. It's a chain whip on one side, and it is a cassette driver tool on the other side. So to remove a cassette, you need both the cassette body, like driver tool, take the cassette off, and you need a chain whip to hold the cassette while you break this one free. So it's three tools. So I did bring an extra chain whip. It's an old one, but it's brand new in the box. Park. Might as well open it. It's got KMC X speed chains. It looks like a 9 or 10 speed chain. And it's got a 15mm pedal wrench. Park's always trying to, make their tools multi-function. So it's good to have around the house. I also use the Velo Orange locking skewers on pretty much all of my bikes. So I need that tool to take that skewer off. And I am smart and always keep an extra one in my wallet for emergencies or on the side of the road if I ride my bike and I lose it or whatever. I might have one in that bag. I'm not sure. I remember if I do. So the Velo Orange locking skewers are like a regular skewer, but instead of the quick release bolt, it's just an Allen head, and the Allen's a tamper-proof Allen, so it's got a little pin in there, so you can't stick a regular Allen. The Allen wrench with a hole drilled in it. So I like that. I'm going to give you guys the first step. Is I'm going to give you guys a tip on this first step is to shift your bike into the hardest gear. And that gets your chain as far out of the way as possible. Things line up easier and will make it a much easier time to get the wheel out and back in, try to fight the derailleur and the chain. Pull the derailleur back, it sort of just drops right out. Cassette wheel. Oh yeah. Got the chair, don't break. Then I'm gonna unscrew this quick release. Hi buds. Hi Scout. Hi Hopper. See the dogs? You probably can't see him. Ah, there's Hopper's tail. Gotta sniff real close in this quick release. I'm gonna take the quick release out, and my quick release and my locking skewer. I'm gonna put the spring and the end back on so stuff doesn't just like fall off and roll away and disappear. Next, we're gonna take this cassette tool and stick it into the cassette so the splines fall down into that lock ring. Using my belly as a third hand. I don't know what non-fat people do. Sometimes I'll like jam this up against the workbench with my hips so it can hold real tight. And I got the cassette tool. I can put it on here. And I want to go right-handed, lefty-loosey, but it's a cassette. So the cassette freewheels, for lack of a better term, and spins. So we have to have something to hold it from spinning so the tool can do its job. So I'm going to use the other chain whip. You can put it pretty much anywhere on any one of the cogs you want. And wrap it around. This chain wraps around and this chain sort of stops it. It's a little bit. So you need this on the cogs. Wrap it around, grabbing it. Make sure the splines are all the way splined down and in, and then just a little twist. Now, a lot of people put cassettes on way too tight. We'll talk about that when we get there. And they're like impossible to get off. So they put them on and just let it click a couple of times, and that is tight enough. People just like keep torquing them, and you go to take them off, and it's like you need 3 guys holding it and fighting it in cheater bars. You saw this came off real easy, almost scary easy. Putting these down, you might notice there's stink bugs everywhere. I just moved to Vancouver, and apparently it has stink bugs like crazy every year. So we're sliding this 8-speed cassette off into its hole. And then this is an 11-speed hub, so it has a 1.8 millimeter spacer already on here to convert it from 11 speed to 10 speed. And 8, 9, 10 are all the same. People say weird stuff all the time, like 9 and 10 are different, 7 and 8 are the same. No, they're not. 8, 9, and 10 are all the same. Exact same spacing. So you get this one spacer. Some of these cheap weird cassettes fit a little weird, and sometimes you'll need a little shim or something. So we're about to find out if this is enough. The Shimano style cassette has all these little splines in it, and one of them is skinnier than the rest, so I always put that at the top. Put this little skinny one on the hub at the top, so I can line them right up and on. And some cassettes are like this, where most of the teeth are riveted together, just a couple aren't. But some, every single one's separate, and all their spacers are separate, so you have to get them all lined up correctly and facing the right way, with the right spacer in between each one. It's a little more tricky. Cheap cassettes are kind of nice this way, they're a lot less tricky. So far, that looks like it's all lining up just right. Little micro shift lock ring. Now, sometimes when you change your cassette, your chains will be too worn out to play well with the new cassette, and it's going to skip and auto shift would be a problem. This bike doesn't have 50 miles on it yet. This chain's still brand new. That cassette's brand new. There shouldn't be any wear issues. But usually you change your chain every time it starts getting stretched, and you can ride the same chain on 3 or 4 cassettes. If you ride that chain until it's real stretched out, it digs into the cassette and wrecks it. Should be talking about this too. And wrecks it, then you can't change just the cassette. You have to change the chain and cassette. They both have to be matched, or both new, or not worn out. Got it on. I put this on, and I don't know if you heard it, but I just go couple of clicks. That's already so many. This thing's probably gonna be tight to get off. And so just like that, that's it. It's easy to change the cassette. Now the real trick is to get this back on and make sure the derailleur's still lined up. The spacing could be slightly different from the different brands or whatever. So the derailleur might not be perfectly lined up, so I have to replace the limit screws to get that on the very first smallest cog, or the high or hard gear. You need the derailleur to sit on here and be perfectly in line with this cog and both of the pulleys. So when you pull the shifter, it'll actually just shift over exactly one space each time. If it's off, the derailleur's bent, or it's slightly too far out, or slightly too far in, it's not going to shift well. It's going to rub on the next cog, it's going to noise, it's going to auto shift. It can even shift up over the biggest cog, or the lowest cog, the easiest cog, and fall in between your spokes. And I've seen many an old wheel, the chain's fallen into the spokes so many times, and every time it does, it acts like a hacksaw. You might as well be hitting this with a hatchet a few times, and just until your spokes get so weak they start breaking like crazy. So that's no bueno. So I want to make sure that derailleur is lined up, and we're also going to hope that we can adjust it and be able to get this big giant 38 tooth. Ooh. And as I said, this cassette fit, but I want to check. Sometimes I'll wiggle it. I'll make sure the whole thing doesn't wiggle or slide back and forth a little bit. It doesn't need that spacer, but it looked good. It feels good. Let's put the quick release back on. And by quick release again, I mean locking skewer. I just put the lock on the non-drive side just as if the lock was a quick release. Slide it in. Be real careful, especially with disc brake wheels. I'm not touching. My fingers are already greasy from touching the bike and the chain. I'm not touching this rotor at all. This rotor is clean and needs to stay clean. Hold it by the spokes. Push on up here on the quick release with my thumb to hold it in place. Springs, another thing. Everyone in the world always puts the springs on wrong. The skinny end goes towards the hub. The fat end goes towards this big fat surface on the quick release nut. Do the other way, the fat end goes up over your axle threads. And you really can't sit straight because a little trunk of the spring is sitting on top of it. It'll always make your wheel sit crooked, weird, you never get it straight, you fight it, it's hard to get it out. Then I get it, roughly on there enough, so hopefully there's enough room to get it up into the bike. Got the tool. Slide her back in. You gotta make sure it comes in between the two parts of the chain, the upper chain and the lower chain here. So you can grab the upper chain with that cog, hold the derailleur back. It goes up, up, up. Slide this bad boy up into these dropouts. Of course, if you have a modern bike with a through axle or whatever, it's different. I'm going to get mostly tight. I'm going to make sure I'm lifting on both sides. I'm going to use my knee to push up against it to make sure it's lifted up. I'm going to tighten it down. Give it a spin. Make sure it's not rubbing the disc. Disc brakes are really good indicators if your wheel's in crooked. It'll rub and make noise. Regular brakes are the same way. If you have a cantilever or caliper brake, all of a sudden it's like rubbing one side, not the other. People always go right to adjust the brake. Like, wait. Double check that wheel's in straight before you start messing with stuff that you didn't mess with. Alright, does it look lined up? It looks perfectly lined up. There's no deflection in the chain. Everything's a straight line down the cog, down both pulleys. So we're probably still in the right spot. The rotor a little bit. I'm going to shift one gear and it pops right up. It's a little slow. I might add some tension. Hey, look at that. So it shifts all the gears up, which is good. It shifts up to this big giant 38. It's on there. You can see the derailleur is pulled way far forward. This still has a lot of extra room to come forward. God, I might be able to get a 42. But I kind of thought the 42 would be too big. At some point you get your gears so easy, you're just like spinning your little guts out turning up a hill and gravity's just making you fall right over. So I don't want to go too big. So there's still plenty of room. If this thing's super tight, it's maxed out, if the pulley and the chain are rubbing on your big gear and this thing's stretched all the way out, it's just so tight, it's about to break. It goes up here, it might break. So you really want to make sure that it's got a little room and a little play. I still have about a centimeter gap. You want at least a centimeter gap between the tip of the tooth on the cassette and the tip of the tooth on the pulley. If it comes up too much, it'll be rubbing and your pulley will be grinding on your cassette teeth as it goes around, and that's a problem. 1 centimeter. I'm going to also make sure it shifts down. So one click, I want to shift nice and smooth, no hesitating, no wagging. Falls right down. It shifts up a little more slowly, so I'm going to add just a tiny bit of tension. I want it to shift up and down. So you see now it's grinding a little bit. Okay, so it's a little unhappy in one gear. but also barely unhappy. So that could be a couple of things. It still shifts up a little slower, so that might actually be that the derailleur is not perfectly aligned. And if I let that limit screw out a slight little bit, it might start slightly this way, a little closer on the high gear, and solve all the problems. Let's look at it again. And that looks good. Maybe it's got a little too much tension on it. I could take a little bit out. It's like 99% perfect. Most people probably wouldn't even notice it. That's probably enough. I can play with the tension. If it really bothers me after riding it, I might waste 20 minutes trying to move this over by 1 millimeter of tension. So I might have to loosen this tension or just move this or whatever. But anyways, it's on. It looks good. This is as easy as I was hoping it would be. And now, like any decent mechanic, what you have to do is go test ride it. Shift through all the gears several times, up and down. Go down a hill, go up a hill. I know some mechanics will just like go outside, just do like one cookie in the parking lot, and just go all the way up, all the way down. Bike's fine, hand it to the customer. No. I see all my mechanics did that. I'm like, no, go right around the block. Go right around the block twice. Take a 3 minute. Take a 5 minute test ride. Like, you're not in so much of a hurry that we want customers to come back complaining their bike's not perfect. It's annoying. We want to get their bikes dialed in so they're happy and never complain and never come back. But that is how easy it is to change a cassette. Most of the time, every once in a while you run into those problems I mentioned. Some will be bent, some will be crooked. Cassette won't actually fit. You'll need an extra spacer. You know, you can run into some weird stuff. You don't know what you're doing. You can't mix match things. You can't put a campy cassette onto a Shimano hub. Different spawns, but Microshift and SRAM and Shimano are all basically the same. Everyone's ripping off Shimano. And Shimano's mad about it. The rest of us are real happy about it. So I just packed some eBay stuff. It's been a week since I've ridden my bike. I'm driving to work every day because I moved far away. It's stupid. This is the new house, by the way. Just got new siding and new paint. So I'm going to take this thing on a ride to the post office for a test ride and go drop off some junk I sold on eBay. Oh, that moves a little bit. I don't like that. Is it loose or is it just the way it fits? This is the way it fits. So, if everything goes poorly, maybe I'll check back in and there'll be some extra in this video. If everything goes well, that's it, and thanks for watching.